Started realizing that, you can't give or depend on somebody for love or a good time and all that if you can't give it to yourself, dog, right? So, I started doing things by myself or just doing things I never thought I'd do, like going skydiving, just whatever I thought was fun, just doing it, right? And in the midst of that, I definitely rediscovered myself and, found a whole new energy and me being the source of it, not somebody else. You know what I'm saying? And now, I started getting back to making the music and it started being fun again. And I'm making the best music of my life, you know what I'm saying? I started nurturing those relationships that were important to me and putting that time into that unconditional love. That conditional love is cool, that money, that instant gratification, but your foundation, what you stand on when everything else goes, is that unconditional love. So, hey man, put the energy back into yourself, be clear about what you want to do, who you want to do it with, and just know that it all translates to happiness. And it feels good to be back at a higher level. So what I did was I started therapy, you know what I'm saying? I got a good therapist, you know what I'm saying? I was blessed enough to talk to some super spiritual people. And they made me realize one thing that I was missing in my life, and one thing I was missing was clarity. You know what I'm saying? I needed clarity. And clarity about who was around me, what I was doing. Even the music, which is like my happiness, my joy, that was always an escape for me, was starting to feel like a burden. It was starting to feel like a job. The relationships around me, people I was growing up with, I had like a lot of toxic relationships around me. Even the relationship with my mom was like getting to a point where we wasn't talking like that. And it was just weird, because that had never been like that with me and her. So I realized that it all started with me and I had to analyze myself. I couldn't point the finger at anybody else. I had to point it at myself and, nurture those relationships that were important to me, but most importantly, nurture the relationship with as I'm going into another year of life, you know what I'm saying, wiser. I'm definitely seeing things different than how I used to see them. And I just wanted to speak on it and share, because a lot of y'all need insight just like I do, and probably felt similar too. But, around this time last year, around my birthday, it was good for me, but it was wild for me too, because I felt like something wasn't all the way connecting with my energy. I'm big on energy. And I wasn't feeling like myself, and I couldn't figure out why. So what I did was I stepped back from everything I was doing, everything I had going on, because somewhere in the middle of it, dog, I just felt lost. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't know how I got there. And I've been meditating since I was 17 years old, and, that helps with like anxiety, depression, all those things that I felt in my life, but it wasn't doing it all the way for this. So I knew that this required some special attention.
All right, Mr. TALIAFERRO TV, how's everybody doing out there? So just like Cardi B yesterday, it seemed like Big Sean is suffering from a little bit of this same social media-itis as well. Look, we talked about it with Cardi. It looks like Big Sean is explaining why he took a year-long hiatus. Now, we've gotten a verse from Big Sean every now and then. I'm not 100% sure when Sean recorded some of these verses, but remember last year when YG had his single Big Bang with 2 Chainz, Nicki, and Sean was on it as well? I'm not sure when Sean recorded that, but he hasn't stopped working 100%, but for the most part, he kind of has just hopped out of the limelight. Remember, he was supposed to do a tour last year in which he was going to perform a lot of his old material, right? But out of nowhere, Sean just abruptly canceled the tour and said he's got to go focus on his mental health. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I said, look, mental health is a serious issue, but now I look at it as the new rollout. Whenever something is going wrong, people just go, yep, I got mental health issues. I don't know if Sean was dealing with anything mentally or not. Like, he really maybe had mental health issues. He said you had to go get a therapist. But at the time, it just felt a little funny, and reportedly the tickets weren't selling for that tour at the time. Again, I'm not saying Sean was faking it, but that mental health rollout was convenient. And I'm a big fan of Big Sean. He used to be my favorite rapper in the world. I wanted to see him live on stage. And when he kind of canceled the performance, as a fan, I was upset. And it looks like Sean was serious. He seriously had things going on. He took a long time away from music. Like, outside of those few verses, no solo project from Sean last year. We're already in March of 2019. I doubt we get an album from Sean this year. Maybe last quarter. I doubt. I mean, if you listen to him, he's saying he's making some of the best music of his life, meaning he's currently finding records for an album. I just doubt we get an album from Sean anytime soon. Definitely not before the summer. Maybe last quarter or maybe top of 2020. That's my guess. But again, Sean claims he had a lot going on. He had to find himself, and I wish that brother nothing but the best. It looks like he's in a better space now. He was in a very public relationship with Janae Aiko, and it looks like they kind of went their separate ways. I see her on her social media saying she's about to drop new music and be her honest self. Look, bruh, a relationship could take you to a bad place if you allow it to. I'm not saying that was it, but when you accompany fame, money, and access to that, I mean, obviously you can see how things could go south for Sean. A guy, small town kid. I mean, he's from Detroit, but he seems like a guy who kind of stayed out of the way and kind of gave off that small town image, right? And it seems like he was a guy that kind of was around a lot growing up, but never really partaked in a lot of the stupid shit maybe friends of his was doing. That's what I get from the music. And it seems like life just kind of overwhelmed him. He said he had to kind of see who was his real friend. Look, he just went through it. All right? His fame went to a different place around 2017, 16, and it looks like it was a lot for Sean, and it finally caught up to him. And it looks like at some point in the next year or so, he'll tell us all about it via his music. I'm happy that he's in a better space now. Thank y'all so much for the time, love, support. Again, Big Sean made an announcement via his Instagram account as he said, happy birthday, Big Sean, as well. It looks like he's back from his hiatus, and he let fans know that he's in the studio cooking up. I'm out. I came from nothing, but I want everything God has for me. I interview celebrities. I talk sports. I still represent the culture.
I got the kids. You are now tuned in.
Yeah, we locked in right now, Mr.
TALIAFERRO. Mr. TALIAFERRO.
Mr. TALIAFERRO.
Mr. TALIAFERRO.
Shout out to Mr. TALIAFERRO.
You're watching Mr. TALIAFERRO TV.
Mr. TALIAFERRO TV. Here with the triple B's, you can't do nothing but win.